It's Thursday, the 28th March 2019, and the clock is 1:30, and we are live. Let's see how long we can be live. I don't have so much data on, just so you know it out there. Happens. There's a simply explanation why change is not really happening. If I shall take you, just for example, I think you nearly do the same things every day, and it suits you to do the same thing every day. You know what you shall the next day? It's easy. It's easy. And when things become easy, then it's just become a way of life. And when things just become a way of life, yeah, you know what happens. The passion, the passion can very much go lost. You know this, if you really burn to become something, it really burns inside of you and you want to be this. How many of you, how many of you have not experienced that the long terms to reach your goal in the end, that all that passion when you was walking into an area it's nearly burned away in the end when you end up having the possibility to work with it. So it's the whole area how we are creating our world. I think many out there have have an idea that they want to become something, and then they begin on our education. When they're finished with the education, many of the people is many times not working with what they have a big passion for. They don't work with it when they have the education. Many times they become something else where they can use their education. And maybe later on they will go back to what they have education on because they have the education. But see, that's just a thing too. When you have the education, you have to have more experience on the area when you have the education. That means that many places uh, ask that you have worked with it maybe in 1 to 2 years, and that's a long time. When you have that, then it's like you are okay to work with the area. So it's very long terms, and the people who go into the area with a lot of passion end up with not really maybe have the same passion that when they was walking into the area. And that's just a sad thing sometimes that we cannot offer something that is keeping our passion in the whole way, that it's not like we are like killing it, we're it's burning out. Many times to reach our goal we are maybe going to work with the same thing over and over again, and that can just be a part of killing our passion too. Something else that can kill our passion when we go into area is maybe the one who is going to teach us, because I don't know why it is like that, but in some cases, um, the student cannot take this, it will just be a way of killing their passion too when the teacher is using the student in such a way so it's not it end up not being fun with working on the area. So of course it's not always a fun thing to go on work, of course, but I mean we don't have to take advantage of the situation if we just have a little bit understanding that when we go into the area and maybe why we are still in the area, why is we still in the area, maybe it was the money in the end that they was offering us that maybe kept us in the area, not because of the teacher, not because of how we reach our goal, like doing the same thing every time we come on work uh, to take our education. It was not really the school time because it was actually very boring, and it was maybe a stupid teacher we have in our school too. So the terms is going to be like long, the terms is going to be so boring in a way. Maybe in some cases where we have education where we know that it's going to burn out maybe in the end. I don't know how we can figure it out in what kind of education where our passion will burn out and we will lose our interest in the area. See, for me, I wish we somehow could keep it, that we could keep that passion, if we could hold that fire alive in the young people to when they have the education one day. If we just could keep that fire alive so they're not losing it in the end and just going on work, you know a very good education maybe have an understanding to hold the fire alive. How can we hold the fire alive? So we end up not just with somebody that's good, but one of the best, and not just some people who is the best on the work and just is working with it. So we want to have the best of the best with passion. It's a weird thing because it's actually all about the passion and not about the education. If people have enough passion for what they do, they can become the best. They don't have to have the education because as long the passion is there, they will reach their goal about they have education or not. So the passion is certainly much more worth in our society than actually the education. If you have a passionate person who have worked on the area in many years, you can maybe feel that passion in the result when they hand over the work to you because they love their work. And that's what it's all about. And we cannot have an area where we are actually killing people's passion to go on work. But of course, people are feeling themselves threatened by new students that's maybe better in an area than themselves, because in the end it will be their job they can lose if somebody new is coming into an area where they can lose the job. So why should they treat the student with honor? Why should they not just take advantage over the situation if the boss is maybe a stupid person? And they know if they educate a new student, maybe in the end, when he is finished to be a student, maybe he will be fired. If he worked there maybe in 1 year or something like that, when he have his education. Because we know that is actually sometimes how the area actually works. So we are, as human beings, we are killing our future just in the way we are, and that one is that's yeah, I don't know what we can do about that, but I think there's only one way, and that is to look the other way sometimes instead of out and in, and reflect a little bit over our reaction out. I think that's a good start. What our system actually can do to keeping the fire alive, see, that's a whole other area. I don't know in how many places that they could make it to a possibility to maybe, if they have a great passion that they actually want to work with this nearly to the afternoon, then I definitely think that maybe we should make it possible. Maybe for the people who have yeah, where they are going on work and taking their education, maybe on those places I don't know about, they have some place where they could make it possible to give a little bit free time for the people that's taking their education there. It's not always about money, but of course everything is much more funny when there's money involved. We know that, even if we are playing a game. If we play a game and there's money in it, there's much more on stage because there's money uh, in the game. And I actually see the passion like money. You know that is a fact. If you have put your mind up to something and you want to complete that passion you have inside your mind, you don't care how long time it's going to take. As long you end up with a result that you are happy for. But that result, yeah, we know how it is when we work with our own things. That's even when we eat food, when we make something to ourselves, we can see all the mistakes. Even if it's a great result, we will know about all the mistakes. That's like when we make our food to ourselves, maybe it will taste very good for somebody who is tasting it. But when you are tasting the food that you have make in the kitchen, it's not the same taste like a stranger that's tasting your food. It's a weird thing, but that's just the reality. That's the same thing if we make something to ourselves. We can see all the mistakes, even if it's a great, great result. It's telling a little bit about our nature. But our system, I think they could make it possible maybe to offering a way to keep the passion on the terms for the student. So they always will keep that passion alive, you know? I don't know how it can be made, but I think we will win something from it of understanding ourselves. If you have a mechanic that's working with cars, maybe the student want to make his own car someday. There's not really the time when he is going on work. There's not the time for that passion. Of course, sometimes they can offering that the student can, of course, work if there's some free time on their own car. And I find that a good idea that can keep their passion alive. They're winning something out of it and they're keeping the passion alive. But it's not everywhere where they can offer that. And I definitely think that if they make it possible in the whole area, you have a lot of firms. They are in kind of cooperation with each other because they work with the same. Then in the same time, they are competing with each other. But if all of them was connected through um, an organization that's created for the students, you could maybe call it Keep the Passion, because that's actually what we are doing. That the firms actually is offering the students, if they want to spend their free time on the area, then all the firms have come together to a solution, maybe a place where the students actually can go and get some of that passion out, whatever it is on that area. And if we could maybe have some people who is not any longer on any longer on the um, what do you call that, working area. They are pensioners, pension. Maybe some of them still want maybe to have something in their hands or something. They could maybe go to that area too. So if the students have somebody they want to ask about something, uh, then you have a person that's passionate on the area to give some advice. Maybe the person is working on something that he is passionate too. Just a place for passionate people who have passion for their working area. that the whole area have gone together to create an organization for passionate people in their own area. Organization keep they're called keep the passion. Maybe there will be a lot of focus from our system about the tax, but I actually think on this area we will win a lot more tax than actually if we have the tax asking for tax for what there's going on in this area on the organization. And let me come for example, because you shall remember it is the passion that we're trying to keep alive for the people so it's not dying out. We don't want it to die out when they're finished with their education. Because when they have the education, we know they can earn a lot of more money. And when they can earn a lot of more money, they can make the organization possible for themselves. We know that's a fact. Money can do a lot of things. But to come to that in the end, we have to have something that's keeping the fire alive because it can very fast die maybe after 2 years if it's taking 4 years or 3 years, and then we have to have something where we can keep this passion alive. Does it sound like bullshit? I don't find it bullshit at all. But we will maybe never understand what we can win out of it. So it will maybe not be a reality in our society because things is just running as it is in this country. I don't know. I don't. There's like something. There's just something in this country that don't want evolvement. That's just a fact. They want to keep it in the same way constantly so they cannot feel themselves threatened. And that's why everything just it's not being renewed in no way. Here the other day I trying to come to a solution on the teeth area. And I know when I can put out the ideas, I know if I can put the ideas out in people's mind, I'm not alone any longer. Every time they will go to the teeth doctor, they will think, yeah, why does not get my picture with me? I pay for it, didn't I? Or why does I not have a profile that is connected to uh, my teeth doctor, where actually that the picture they have taken is going inside my profile? When I can come out with those ideas and make people aware over that sometimes we have these areas and they don't want change. And there's a good reason why maybe they don't want the change, because as it is right now, it's maybe easy for them. It's easy how everything is running. It's easy money for them. And if they are changing it, maybe they think they will not earn as much that they did before. That's why we have to come with some solutions how we can threaten sometimes the areas to make the change here and now, because we are in the future right now, if people don't know that. And if we are not making the change, it would be like if you have Stone Age people and you're handing over a telephone to them. How would it then look? You have some Stone Age people, they're still living in their stone buildings, and now you hand over a smartphone to them. I just think that is making out my point. They're not really changing, but they're living in the future. You understand? That's actually what we choose. We're not moving, we're still living like we did for many years ago. It's still the same, but now we can just see how everything outside is coming inside our homes and is changing our life a little bit, but not to our advance because everything is the same. Just because we get a little bit smarter, it have not really changed us. Oh, we could take an ape from the rainforest and we could hand over a phone to them, a smartphone. The ape maybe like to look on all the pictures on the phone, but it's not really changing. Because when change happens, it will be so fucking slowly that we cannot really see it. Maybe the ape, the only change we can see on the ape, maybe suddenly it will wear a hat. Over a decade. Maybe suddenly it will wear trousers and a blouse, and but it's not really changing. That's the progress we can see. Maybe you will not give me right, but you know it's a fact. Just because we get a little bit smarter, things are not really changing to that better. I think there's another good reason for that too. Because before we get smart, we have been in a progress of manipulation. A manipulation that's actually denying each other in a way. And there's a reason for that manipulation. Yeah, when I say deny, I say we are keeping to ourselves in such a way so we cannot see the progress that will change with it. And maybe it's because we have some people outside that's giving us a tool, just like the smartphone. And maybe they just want a piece of us. And that's why we can see the manipulation, because they're keeping us in chess. And of course, if we have some military forces keeping us in chess because they want to change, or they want to take some of us, or they want to wipe out our ass, I don't know what the reason is, but the reason is there. And we just let them. I think that is the worstest problem, that we just let them do this. We are not rejecting what there's going on in our country, and everybody know it. We allow them to do this shit. I just come with other suggestions, you know, about the collective in the area where you live to calculate a little bit about how much are you using on that area where you actually are living. Is it so much? Is it so much so you cannot get something better out of it? When we go out and buy a new place, yeah, we see that area that we can keep for ourselves, and this is ours. And we will buy it if there's a lot area that we can keep for ourselves, if we can sit on that place because it's ours, you know? It belongs to us. We can live free and we have all that to ourselves. All that. That's actually how we think when we buy something. The idea I have suggested how we can share some of our area to something better. Something better that we are not alone on the area. We can still use it as it's ours. See, we can think new on that area many places. Do you know how many places where we have houses on one side and we have houses on the other side? And then we have this great road in between. So we can drive down with our cars and into our home. How many places is not have not been made like that? It's a lot of places, isn't it? It's a lot of places. We have a road between our houses, down on a quiet road. Why is it like this? Can you tell me why it's like that? Why all that space? All that space to nothing. See, here where I live, I find it's a very good idea actually what they've made where I live here. They put this new stone down in the road out there. So so the water actually can go down in the road. There's a grass in the middle, of those kind of stones. So the grass can grow up and it can be a green road. It's actually a very good idea. But it's not good enough. But it's a good idea. It's a way of getting the water away in the area. Now we know there can be some problems when we have a big truck coming into those kind of areas. They can have a problem with drive down in that kind of area. They will actually ruin the road. But it's a good idea to think new on the roads everywhere. 2 seconds. It's a very good idea to think new because we can get much more out of it. Let's take an example. Maybe we have a quiet road and it's ending in the end of the road. why does people not come together and suggest that in the end of the road, yeah, maybe there's a house in the end, so it's ending the road. Why does people not come together and maybe share a little bit of their garden to open up for our area for everybody in the end of the road? Just like on my cartoon I have made, that now we suddenly have a place in the end, a field with grass. Why does we not make it possible? Why should we have all that road? Try to think of it. All that road everywhere, just so a car can drive on it. And how much is the cars driving on that area on many places in this country? It's maybe some, yeah, some minutes, maybe on a whole day, only maybe 3 minutes or something like that, that's driving a car on that road. It's okay that they can drive a car there. It's not that. It's just that we have a whole road so a car can drive there. When we could get more out of it for everybody and not just the car. Not just the car. Because that's how it is today. We have all these places with houses, and then we have all those roads just so a car can drive down at the road and into the house. Yeah, it's a good idea that a car can drive down there, yes, and then into their place. Of course, it's a good idea that they can do that. It's actually their place, you know. But a think of it is driving out in the morning. They are on work in many hours. Later on the day, they are coming home about 4 o'clock. No, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock, because they are out and picking up their kids and they are out and buying their groceries. And then about maybe 5 in the day, they come home and driving down at the road again. And maybe they're nothing doing the rest of the afternoon. two times on a day for that house. And maybe we can share that with all the other houses nearly. Maybe we have one that's working at home, maybe only one day in the week. But else everybody have nearly the same time they're driving out and coming home on the day. That's how much we are using all that room. Try to think of it. That's how much we are using all that road, all that room, so they can drive out in the morning and home in the afternoon. And we have a road. We have a road so we can drive home and out in the morning and in the afternoon. Okay. Maybe some of the days, yeah, maybe you shall visit some friends and then you're coming home 12 o'clock, maybe. Or you're going out and eat and you're coming home maybe 9 o'clock. But still, there's nearly no activity on the road in the whole day. Why can we not make it different? Why can we not get something out of that? Something better to everybody's best? Why not have a whole uh, grass on that road connecting our houses? Just example. Okay, the grass shall maybe be cut. Or it could not be a living grass, but maybe this artificial grass, you know that? Maybe you could have that on the road instead. Maybe we don't even have to remove the road. Maybe we could just put it over the road. Now we can go out and play ball on the road, and it's a little bit more greener. Maybe. Oh, we could have grass. We could maybe have grass, and then we could have like the hole down on the road. We could have some kind of heavy stones we could drive on. So even a truck could drive down because those heavy stones, if being made so they can drive there, maybe they are a little bit under the earth. So maybe there's grass over it, but maybe there's a lamp everywhere those stone are. So if there's coming a truck and they shall a new person shall move in or away, then we know where the road actually is because there's some lights down in the roads. So it can just drive on the lights. Because on those places it's not ruining the road because there's heavy stones underneath we cannot see. So a truck can drive down there if they shall put something off or have something in return. Hey, it's just to make you understand that if we want to, we can make it a better place. But I don't think we want to have a better place. It suits us as it is right now. Or does it? Or does it suit some kind of military force in our country? It suits them that it is like this. They actually is cutting down our the places where we can sit and drink a beer. They're cutting that away and make it to an empty place so they can put up a camera and have 24 hours a surveillance over that place. So you can only go in there and sit maybe on a stone that you will only sit on in maybe 5 minutes if you are a little bit tired in your legs. Not a whole day because it's not comfortable enough to stay there. That's actually what there's going on in our country. Try to imagine if we have this kind of roads and if we wanted, we could go out and maybe put a table and some chairs on the road and we could sit there and enjoying that we can sit there because it's possible. Yeah, we could even have like I have suggested, a big pool on the road. Why not a big pool out on the road? Then we could have one day where we are filling it with water, maybe in the weekend. And then we have this that's driving over it, you know? So it's not a pool anymore, but just a room underneath. See, such a room in our road outside, what can we use a room like that for? Yeah, now we have a place where we maybe can hold some parties. Maybe there are some stairs where we can go underneath into the pool. Now there's lights and everything down in that area. Maybe even if we have a problem about water, we have a luxus pool that the water can run through to. It's a win-win situation. We're getting more out of our roads. This is just a suggestion how we can make everything a little bit more smarter. Why should it be like this? That we have to go to an area to just feel that luxus just a little bit? Or why shall we have many millions on our account just to get a little bit of that in our own garden? Why can everybody not get a little bit of this luxus in our area? I think if we wanted that everything's just getting a little bit better, that we wanted this passion, I think we could come together and we could make it into a success and we could make some change. But of course, in every organization where we have houses, maybe we just have a little bit of this military force that will maybe say it's not a good idea and will maybe reject the idea so we can never ruin changes, because that's how it is. They are in everywhere, even in our schools, in our classes, every fucking where they are in. We can think a little bit over why it is like that in our country. Everything could be much better if we wanted to. Not some easy solutions, because it's easy here now and we cannot think bigger than that. We make it right first time. We are not going to put our hands two times on one area. We are thinking new first time. I have other suggestions, but I think I will stop here. Can you have a